Well, a day after his victory, Arvind Kejriwal has hit the ground running. In fact, he's on his way at the moment to meet Home Minister Rajnath Singh. Kejriwal is likely to bring up the issue of full statehood for Delhi during his meeting with Singh. He will also, in fact, he has also met Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu this morning. Kejriwal will be meeting the Prime Minister tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. The Prime Minister had invited Kejriwal for a cup of tea after his stunning performance. Kejriwal will also call on President Pranab Mukherjee later this evening. Rishika Barua is now joining us with more details on that meeting between Kejriwal and Rajnath Singh that's about to happen in a short while from now. She's, of course, outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence in Kaushambi. Rishika, he's just left a few minutes back to meet Rajnath Singh. What is he likely to focus on?
Well, Maha, that's correct. Arvind Kejriwal just left about 2-3 minutes back from his Kaushambi residence. 3:30 is when that scheduled meeting with Rajnath Singh will take place. He set the ball rolling on day one, and the meeting with Rajnath Singh assumes a lot of significance given the fact, that the Aam Aadmi Party last time in their brief stint of 49 days in government had in fact stressed on the fact that the Delhi police should be brought under the ambit of the Delhi government and, something that is currently controlled by the Home Ministry. So while that was a sticking point last time around, Maha, that's definitely something that will come up for discussion. But over and above that, law and order situation in Delhi is going to be, a prime focus for Arvind Kejriwal. Women's safety security concerns is what he's likely to be raising with the Home Minister. So this meeting assumes a lot of significance in the light of the law and order situation in New Delhi, which Kejriwal, remember, has promised to change in the course of that campaign that he's run over the last 3 months. But having said that, Maha, what we've been stressing on is the fact that here is a new kind of a chief ministerial designate. We're seeing he's less confrontational. He's wrapped his head around the fact that if he wants to come clean on the promises that he's made to the people of Delhi, he needs to work with the central government.
Yes.
That is why, Maha, we've seen that he's called on a slew of union ministers through the course of the day. Venkaiah Naidu, Rajnath Singh, he's meeting Pranab Mukherjee later this evening at 6:30. Also meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's extended an invitation to all the union ministers and the Prime Minister himself to attend his swearing-in ceremony. So a reconciliatory note struck by Arvind Kejriwal on day one.
All right, Rishika, do stay on with us. We also have with us Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu, who tracks the Home Ministry for headlines today. Kamal, Arvind Kejriwal has left his residence to meet Rajnath Singh. Now, the issue of full statehood for Delhi is likely to come up between talks between the two sides. Now, what are the controversial points that have so far not allowed this to happen?
Maha, Arvind Kejriwal has hit the ground running. We do expect him at any point of time now. There's high security outside Rajnath Singh's residence. But what is more important is the politics which is going to take place. One is the demand of full statehood. Now, that is something which has been very controversial. Remember, whether it was a vision document or whether it was talk about manifesto, BJP had clearly not spelled it out. So obviously there seemed to be a problem. They said there would be a certain discussion, but definitely at this point of time, women security is another issue that Arvind Kejriwal is going to be talking about. Law and order, as far as Delhi police is concerned, both of them remain with Home Ministry. So this is something which is seen as extremely crucial. But what is also very important is that whether there are different aspects of law and order situation, and there have been run-ins of the Arvind Kejriwal government in the first phase itself, where he was obviously not very comfortable with the UPA government. But now we know this is the second chance with the overwhelming majority. He's going to be pushing for agenda points of the Aam Aadmi Party. But we'll really have to see what really conspires between him and Rajnath Singh.
All right, Kamal, stay on with us. Let me go back to Rishika for a bit. Rishika, you were talking about this new face of the Arvind Kejriwal government where they are less confrontational. Last time around, Somnath Bharti had a rather unpleasant episode wherein the police was also involved. Now, can you help us understand whether this sense that they should no longer be confrontational percolates to the rest of the people in the Aam Aadmi Party, or is it just Arvind Kejriwal making those noises at this point?
Well, Maha, it is really too soon to tell. I mean, just yesterday, there's been this overwhelming verdict which has taken the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal by surprise. Nobody anticipated, not even, their own poll pundits anticipated that they would get such an overwhelming majority. But having said that, if you see the way that the Aam Aadmi Party has run their campaign, it hasn't been a negative campaign. There is obviously a certain, agitational mode in which they work. It has been an anti-establishment campaign, but it's not been a negative campaign. They've come to the people of Delhi with a plan in place, whether it is about housing, whether it is water, power, or women's security, which is a very sensitive issue. So they've come forth with a plan, with a rather positive campaign. And after that overwhelming verdict yesterday, we're seeing the same sort of a note being carried forward today. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal has not yet assumed office. He's still only Chief Ministerial Designate. I mean, on the 14th, he will officially be sworn in as Chief Minister once again. But he set the ball rolling and he set the tone and tenor. If today is anything to go by, then he set the tone and tenor in a very reconciliatory note. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP have fought a campaign tooth and nail. They've been up in arms against each other, whether it's a campaign that's been fought on the streets, on social media, or a word war that has ensued between the two parties. But the campaign aside, it's time for governance. Arvind Kejriwal setting the ball rolling. He has understood, like I've been saying, that Delhi cannot work without cooperation from the centre. He's going to need cooperation from key union ministers for all his plans to bear fruit in Delhi, and that's something that he's realized, that's something that he's working on, and clearly striking a reconciliatory note, making those courtesy gestures, meeting with union ministers. It does appear that this is Arvind Kejriwal 2.0, a little different from the Chief Minister we saw last time around.
Kamal, let me come back to you. You were mentioning, and quite rightly over there, that the vision document that was carried out by the BJP just ahead of the elections did not mention or make a mention of the issue of statehood for Delhi. Now, under those circumstances, it is quite apparent that the BJP government at the centre is not comfortable with the idea, which is one of the main factors and the main pleas that Arvind Kejriwal is perhaps going to the Home Minister with today.
Well, definitely what we do expect from the centre is no knee-jerk reaction. They would want to really simulate as to what Arvind Kejriwal is going to come up with. The meeting is obviously going to be with an open mind. But remember, even as Arvind Kejriwal will try and push for agenda points like the full statehood, women's security and other issues, the centre would want to give an impression that they are going to be seeking the cooperation of the state. And remember, it's not just about the state itself of Delhi, but it is the capital of the country also. So law and order situation is clearly a point. There have been communal riots in the past 6 months or so. This is something which is going to be stressed by Arvind Kejriwal again. So yes, there are going to be points where he's going to be stressing that certain part of it should be taken care of by the state itself. In that sense, there has been a demand where Arvind Kejriwal in his first innings had said that state and especially law and order situation should come under the state government. The other aspect that he was also talking about was how there was inaction by Delhi police on a lot of counts, and Delhi police should also come under state government. So we'll really have to see what he really says to Rajnath Singh at this point of time. This is obviously, he's hitting the ground running. He's going to come up with some new ideas. So yes, this is going to be more than a courtesy call at this point of time. Even before he takes charge, he's going and meeting and doing the courtesy call. He's obviously going to also invite them for his swearing-in ceremony at the Ram Leela ground.
That's right.
There's a massive preparation. A lot of Delhi police is out there. Definitely a lot of business is going to be discussed in this particular meeting with Rajnath Singh.
Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu and Rishika Barua, both of you, many thanks for getting us those.